What's the main driving creative force throughout all this?
You know, I think first of all, the thing that we really aspire to constantly is quality.
I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, here we are at the end of this bizarre, shocking, how on earth did it come to this Obi-Wan Kenobi show final? And I've got to get this done because the fans want to hear more about Andor.
Re-review Andor, coward!
Bizarrely, we have already had Obi-Wan and Vader face off, which was terrible. Little Obi-Wan running away, yet ending up at the exact same spot over and over again. Like he was trapped in the bloody Matrix. Lucasfilm should have really hired 2 mounds of dirt for that shoot. But we know that Vader and Obi-Wan will have to be brought back together one more time because you're going to break George's New Hope story. You may as well do it twice. So we start with Reva and more hand pantomime force use. The force used to be so cool, a spiritual connection with nature. Now it's just a dumb superpower that mimics exactly what she could have done with her hand. It's hard to say if Reva is the worst Star Wars character of all time. How do you judge a piece of corn and a turd? It seems a tad unfair singling out Reva when everything about this show is garbage.
What do you want?
Justice.
So Reva is here alive. I should be saying surprisingly, but what must be one of the stupidest ideas that any franchise has ever done, the series with the word wars in the title, has decided to remove death from the Star Wars universe. Unless, like I said last time, you're a droid. Then you get a really dramatic death, never to be repaired. Somehow Reva was run through with a lightsaber, by Darth Vader no less, on a deserted planet with no spaceships around. She somehow survived, built a spaceship out of the bits Vader pulled apart, and flew straight to Tatooine. I mean, we don't see any of that miraculous escape. Why would we? That might be interesting. But then again, they'd have to think of a way she got off that planet.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think?
I always do love when the fans say, "You can survive because the heat of the lightsaber will cauterize the wound." As if a big gaping hole through vital organs is fine as long as you don't bleed too much. We've now seen 3 people run through with a lightsaber and they've all survived. I mean, they all now shit into a colostomy bag because their intestines are destroyed, but they're alive. Now, if we go back to a horrible time in a theatre, I remember seeing Rey heal Kylo Ren for the first time with her magic hands and thinking, what a fucking stupid cheat that was to add into the Star Wars universe. The Force's ability to be used to communicate or move things seemed spiritual and meditative. Using the Force to re-stitch internal organs, bringing people back from the dead and performing miracles seems very godlike, which it's hard to believe people forgot about it.
The Jedi were real.
A few monks being able to move objects is one thing, but imagine thinking that a magic power that could cheat death would be forgotten by the general public within one generation.
The Jedi were real.
The subtleties of the original vision of Star Wars are so lost on the current Lucasfilm.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
The Force is now just an obnoxious superpower.
You can have what's left when I'm done.
So Reva is looking for Owen to get to the boy. Remember when this series started and it had nothing to do with the twins and Leia was just there because of who her dad was? Well, because the writers are morons, they decided to give Reva the prequels box set so she could catch up and know that the boy was somehow important.
Have you learned of the children? Well, in Tatooine.
You would think the minimal requirement for being a writer in Hollywood would be the skill of being able to follow your own story and to also remember that the characters in your story haven't watched the movies you're referencing.
You really love the boy.
That really seems like something a child would understand, but somehow not paid writers or some of the current Star Wars fans.
You've spent 10 years protecting the Jedi. This is my chance to return that favor.
Disney really hates the Jedi. They just keep telling us how bloody useless they are. A small band of rebels can take out a Death Star, but what seems to be an ever-growing number of Jedi that survived decide to all hand in their lightsabers and hide.
You have to help me.
You want my help? Take this. Walk into the middle of the desert and bury it in the ground.
So while Reva is now hunting some random kid,
I'm not afraid.
Obi-Wan decides to sacrifice himself to Vader, the guy he is absolutely shit scared of. The turning of Luke into Jake was such a sad choice, handled in such a lazy way.
Surprise, motherfucker.
But the way they've written Obi-Wan in this series, and also, let's be honest, the way Ewan is playing him, is bloody ridiculous. And even though I hate old man Luke, we hadn't seen him before as an old man, but we have seen old man Obi-Wan, who is just like young man Obi-Wan. And neither of them are like the deer in the headlights, consistently frightened middle-aged Obi-Wan.
You must learn the ways of the Force, if you're to come with me to Alderaan.
This guy is definitely not this guy. And this guy is definitely not this guy. I swear Disney only has that one template for old characters. And that's that they're failures. Speaking of failures, Vader's Star Destroyer can't catch the flying school bus. And as we know, they can never send TIE fighters after them anymore. And as we've seen before, for some reason, no one making this series understands scale. How does this ship and those people fit into this ship? We literally see the underside and the interior of the ship to see how bloody small it is. That's the exact same ship leaving that they're in. Oh, that's right, sci-fi fantasy, so, you know, fucking anything goes. Still not as stupid as when they tried to say that the same ship was carrying 2 snow speeders. That was ridiculous.
He is not just any Jedi. Follow Kenobi.
TIE fighters, just send out the TIE fighters. Obi-Wan flies off, finds a planet and lands. Because we have to get to that Vader Kenobi money shot as soon as possible. And when we see them again together, we get some predictable choreography that looks made up on the spot, where it's all about getting those poses in, and lots of superhero, superpower force use.
And that is why you will always lose.
That results in Obi-Wan getting buried. George Lucas would be turning in his grave if he wasn't alive and well, and not thinking about this shit anymore. Disney has turned his simple, magical tale into a Marvel Avengers smash fest.
Elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
These guys are just over-the-top super beings these days. Let me just have a quick break to thank today's wonderful sponsor, Raycon. Christmas came early this year at the Robot Head household. The lovely people at Raycon sent me a pair of their latest earbuds to try, and I'm very happy they did, because sometimes I need to block out the daily noise of my job and spend a bit of me time relaxing. Here you go, got you a little something to wear.
Oh, for me? Thank you, Robot Head.
And Raycon's amazing noise isolating earbuds have made that so much easier to do.
Oh, so this is what you want me to wear tonight?
Now, with my line of work, I've owned many pairs of headphones, so it takes a fair bit to impress me. Not only do these earbuds have great sound quality and outstanding battery life, they start at half the price of other premium audio brands. And all this month, Raycon are having a countdown to Christmas with a new pop-up flash deal for you to take advantage of every single day. Raycon's wireless earbuds, headphones and speakers offer premium sound, really useful features, an almost custom comfortable fit, and up to an unheard of 54 hours of battery life. You'll be able to wear them no matter what you're doing. You can find Raycon today in stores like Coles or Walmart, but if you want the absolute best deal, well, that's where I come in with a special Robot Head promotion. Just go to buyraycon.com/robothead and use the code HOLIDAY and you will get an extra 15% off site-wide. Spend over $85 and get your order in by the 20th of December and you will also get free express shipping, just in time for Chrissy. See the link in the description. Take the stress out this holiday season and get a pair of these amazing earbuds for that special person in your life. Not only will they love the gift, but they'll be reminded of your love every day.
Oh, now I can play someone else to drown him out.
Raycon, the best earbuds I've ever had. How are those rocks not killing Vader? Oh, that's right. They removed death from Star Wars. They also removed tension, because who gives a fuck about a story or a fight where you know the outcome? What investment am I meant to be giving? They may as well just put on the wrestling. There's a strange bit where they hold hands, and then we get the only interesting idea and shot in the whole series, when we get Anakin/Vader, which for the briefest of moments shows you what could have been. But that all comes to a screeching halt when they get Obi-Wan to say, "Goodbye, Darth."
Goodbye, Darth.
Which is very odd when you're going for the final goodbye of Anakin. Then Obi-Wan just walks off, allowing Vader, the mass-murdering psychopath, to live. Nice work, Obi-Wan, you bastard. Twice you've left him alive to just go on killing.
You were my brother, Anakin!
I do like how the creative giants at Lucasfilm have just decided to step in and rewrite the most important parts of George Lucas's work. Obi-Wan's relationship with Anakin didn't end on Mustafar just before Padme died. No! Now their relationship finally ended on some nameless, badly lit rock planet that no one gives a shit about. Brilliant. This is meant to be impressive, lifting all those rocks. Just a pity we saw Rey do the exact same thing, the day after she heard that the Force was actually a real thing.
I'm sorry for all of it.
Meanwhile, Reva has been visiting Owen's farm to kill everyone. So much tension. I wonder who will survive. Strangely, Owen, the missus, and the boy Wonder had a chance to leave.
I'm not leaving my home. At least here we have a chance.
If we stay, we need help.
Where enough? You and me.
But they thought they stood a better chance by waiting at the remote farm for their trained assassin to arrive and kill them.
Bro, she's coming!
Go! We're enough.
Obi-Wan magically gets there from a far-off planet within minutes. Like death and tension, distance is now a thing of the past in Star Wars. Oh, what a surprise. Everyone survives. Ah, what a fascinating tale. And lucky for Luke, Reva had a change of heart because Obi-Wan completely failed in protecting Luke. In fact, Lucasfilm decided to have Obi-Wan fail at everything and achieve nothing in this series. Leia was only on the run because she was with Obi-Wan. She only got home alive because someone else dropped her off. Luke is only alive because Reva changed her mind. Obi-Wan also let Vader, the most evil and feared man in the universe, live to go on killing. He also let a homicidal Reva just walk away, even though she'd been on a Jedi killing spree for years, a spree that included children. She was actually just trying to kill a child 5 minutes ago. But off you go, walk off into the sunset, Reva. So thanks to Disney, not only is Obi-Wan now a complete selfish arsehole who has made terrible decisions that will lead to the death of millions.
What's wrong? I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Yeah, that's all your fault. He is also insanely stupid.
You know, you were right. He just needs to be a boy. The future will take care of itself. The only protection he needs now, Owen, is you and Beru.
Yeah, a boy that only seems to have one set of clothes for his whole life. Luke literally just had a trained assassin at the farm trying to kill him. He's only alive, no thanks to Obi-Wan, because the killer changed their mind. And thanks to Obi-Wan, that killer is still out there alive.
Now you are free.
And could change their mind at any time and come back and get him. Or that killer could be captured by Vader and forced to tell him all about the boy. And Obi-Wan knows all this and thinks, now's the time to leave and let the farmer and his wife take care of the boy. The farmer and wife that have already shown they can't protect him, let them be the sole protectors for the future savior of the galaxy. Ah, get fucked. Obi-Wan decides to visit Leia to see if she survived and made it home. Which is really stupid, as the only people that should be visiting Leia's family is Vader and the Inquisitors. The idiot writer's own stupid story revolved around Vader being obsessed with killing Obi-Wan.
He is not just any Jedi.
The Inquisitor's sole job is to hunt Jedi and report back to Vader. They made sure everyone knew the connection between Leia's stepdad and Obi-Wan.
I found a link between him and Organa in the archives. I used the girl as bait.
Reva turning good at the last minute doesn't change what the Inquisitors and Vader know. Vader now knows for certain that Obi-Wan is alive and well. He also knows for certain that Leia's dad is in contact with him. Why wouldn't Vader just turn up, grab the whole family, and torture them until Obi-Wan handed himself in?
You know where to find me.
Instead, for some crazy reason, Vader just somehow forgets everything that just happened and doesn't think about it for the next 10 years.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last.
And apparently, best of all, the Inquisitors just stopped doing their job.
Kenobi is the last ember of a dying age. Extinguish him.
Leia's dad's not even some random dude. Anakin knows him. He's a bloody senator. Vader's going to see him at work for the next 10 years. It's so fucking insane.
Well, took you long enough.
Qui-Gon? It's a bit late, isn't he? Obi-Wan's popping in to see Luke every 5 minutes. And Qui-Gon turns up right at the very end. Doesn't feel tacked on at all.
Hello.
Ben? Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see.
The writers hate Obi-Wan so much. They're now blaming him for the lack of Force Ghost visits.
Come on. You've got a ways to go.
Kenobi is the dumbest story I have ever seen produced. A story where the future is already laid out, and still they couldn't get it right.
I think you're right.
Disney just hates the Jedi. They hate Star Wars, and they really, really hate George Lucas. Jealous, forgettable hacks, the lot of them.
But also the new characters, the new energy, being able to add new stuff to canon and new stuff to Star Wars. It's like, you know, it's a great honor to be able to do that. So I'm excited to see new stuff.
The sequels may have destroyed Leia, Han, and Luke, but this show massacred Obi-Wan and Vader and made the whole saga make no sense.
What are you the most excited for in the Lucasfilm slate for 2022?
I'm excited for so much that's going on. There's just such variety to what's going on and such exciting expansion that's happening. And the most important thing is we're bringing in people that are just having a blast being a part of this.